In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, after 5 decades as a town meeting member, Andy Dufresne retires. We sat down with him as he reflected on his impressive service to the town. The Art Center unveils a new Juried Photography exhibition, and the Wellness Fair returns after 3 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus. Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm Michael Kasparian.
And I am Queen Carberry Banda.
Adrian Dufresne will be 92 years old this year, and over a half of those years, 5 decades, he spent serving Falmouth as a town meeting member.
I sat down with Mr. Dufresne to reflect on this monumental feat. He tells me his introduction to local politics started decades ago when he ran to be on the beach committee. From there, the rest is history.
Andy, do you remember March 13th, 1973? What happened on that day, Andy? He doesn't remember exactly, but that's the day that Andy the Baba Dufresne was elected to the Falmouth town meeting. And this meeting is his 50th year as a member of this august legislative body.
Yeah, no, I think I've contributed enough, and I hope some of the older voices in town meeting stay on, don't get out, and which is what I did. I just stayed on. My favorite say was win some, lose some, but once I cast my vote, take what the action gives me.
Now, I'm sure there may have been some votes, if you do remember, that you felt were not at the best interests of the town. Okay, all right. And what's the best way to move forward when you recognize such a thing?
Accept the vote of town meeting. After the vote is taken, win or lose, I could care less. I used to go out and have a drink after. Huh? Yeah.
Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Andy Dufresne in recognition of your 50 years of service to Falmouth as town meeting member and selectman.
When you reflect back at your 50 years, what do you remember the most?
I remember 30 years ago when one of our prominent business people in the town was having a disagreement with I think the moderator. And when he finished talking, he was so goddamn mad, Portuguese man. Right? You know how Portuguese have that temper? Mm-hmm. He threw the mic on the floor.
That makes you laugh.
Yeah, yeah, because I know the individual.
Oh.
Yeah.
To all my colleagues here in this room, thank you for this honor that you put placed on me tonight. It's been a long 50 years, and we've accomplished a hell of a lot. But let's watch what we're doing from now on.
I've had that seat in the corner for, can't remember how many years. I used to sit right in the front row in the corner, and I was never afraid to put my hand up when I wanted something, when I wanted to vote for something. And a lot of my supporters, at least that's what they tell me, when they saw my hand go up, they knew it was worthwhile, because I study an issue, and it has to be in the best interest of the town.
That was your main objective.
My main objective is the town meeting vote in the best interest of the town.
Mr. Dufresne says since stepping down from his title as a town meeting member, He looks forward to spending his days cutting hair at the Main Street barber. You can catch our full exclusive on our YouTube page.
It's time now for FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
Water quality and housing dominated this past Select Board meeting. A standing room only crowd attended to hear a developer requesting a letter of support to build a 300-unit affordable housing complex at 375 Sandwich Road. The project could ease the housing crisis in Falmouth, but introduces a water treatment issue into the already nitrogen-embattled Great Pond watershed. Acting Town Manager Peter Johnson-Staub relayed the concerns Falmouth's wastewater superintendent has with the development.
The wastewater issue is the amount of flow, as I said earlier, even with the very best on-site treatment, which is the wastewater superintendent's preferred option here, would add a volume of nitrogen that would mean, we have a comprehensive wastewater management plan which calls for sewering the Great Pond watershed. That design money was rejected by town meeting. But in order to, based on the studies that have been done, in order to meet the total maximum discharge limit for nitrogen for the Great Pond watershed, we need to sewer a large area without this project. If we add this project, we will need to sewer a larger area. And I do say sewer because in this particular watershed, urine diversion won't remove 100% of the nitrogen. And that's what we need to meet our targets according to the studies that have been done. One way to address it might be a package treatment plant on this site, which is then connected to not only the new units, but also other existing units in the area that are not planned for sewer treatment right away.
The board did not vote on a letter of support, but instead requested the developer give them more information on how they plan to handle the wastewater treatment issue. The discussion of water continued when interim water superintendent Mike Rigetto and the town's hired consultants presented a water main replacement report.
The goal is to spend or appropriate roughly $3 million annually. Another factor with that number is affordability, but also contractor availability. It's hard to get contractors that are qualified and good at this work on Cape Cod.
Important parts to show you here. On the right side, you can see that 39 in the green, 39% of the existing system is asbestos cement water main. And then the red there, 10% unlined cast iron, and the orange, 4% wrought iron. So these two categories, about 50% of the water mains in the system, and there's about 385 to 400 miles of water main in the Falmouth system. So you can see half of the system is this AC main or cast iron. AC is a problem because, as Mike indicated, we're seeing a lot of failures at joints. And then the cast iron is a problem because there was a picture that Mike showed side by side, an old main that was tuberculated, where you could see the diameter of the pipe is much smaller because of corrosion and tuberculation over time.
The board is considering this report with its attending overall cost, estimated at nearly $50 million over the life of the replacement project.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org.
After the break, we'll take you inside the Art Center Juried Photography exhibition. Stay with us.
For 40 years, the Cape and Islands Veterans Outreach Center has been singularly dedicated to providing comprehensive, life-sustaining services for veterans and their families on Cape Cod and the islands.
My name is Carrie Dobson, and I'm the case manager at Cape and Islands Veteran Outreach Center. I triage the needs of the veteran, which in some cases is addressing food insecurity, housing instability, lack of or inadequate medical and mental health care, or other chronic acute needs. We work closely with other community agencies to make sure the veteran is connected to services that may help with their specific needs. We provide wraparound weekly case management services to all of the veterans in our transitional housing program to help them not only find their permanent housing, but maintain it.
Hi, my name is Dr. David Mishkin. I'm a neuropsychologist, and I employ best practices to help veterans their spouses, and their families to develop skills to respond to challenges in their lives. The sessions are not limited to a given number or duration. My schedule is flexible and I work hard to accommodate all veterans and their families, but I cannot take walk-in appointments for veterans. I utilize mindful-based therapies, including learning mindful meditation, which is a main component in what we offer. Studies have shown that cultivating a regular meditation practice offers a host of benefits, including reduced anxiety, increased sense of well-being, heightened creativity, improved immune functioning, better memory, and improved decision-making.
Welcome back.
In coastal towns like Falmouth, the effect of the local environment on residents' lives cannot be understated.
And as such, in recognition of this past Earth Day, Susie Bergman of the West Falmouth Library and Ellie O'Keefe of the Farm in Falmouth came together to teach the next generation the importance of caring for our environment through the process of growing trees.
Fill the rest of the jar up. Every day, Xenia checks her garden to see if anything has happened. Look, the first seedling is poking its way up to the dirt, and that's so exciting, isn't it, when you see that first little thing come up?
My name is Susie Bergman. I'm responsible for programming at the West Falmouth Library. And today is a perfect example of some of the things that we do here. And it was a wonderful collaboration with
Ellie O'Keefe from Farm in Falmouth. I'm on the education committee.
I think Earth Day has become very important on the Cape. A couple of different things that happen on Earth Day is programs like this talking about being sustainable with your food growth.
So I'm representing Farming Falmouth, and what we're trying to do is explain to people that they can teach people and give them the resources to grow their own food, to grow and access food closer to home, to have good access to food in general, to shrink down the food miles. And so to me, Earth Day is about, our effect on the environment and the world around us, that we're one with it, and that if from a very young age, children understand they can have an impact and make a difference. They're going to all their life have more respect.
Parents had a great time joining with each other. Children were very, very engaged in planting their seeds, and tell about the different kinds of seeds and how you put the whole thing together.
Okay, so yeah, they were so excited. It was nice. It was really heartwarming to see that. I just found 3 seeds that I thought kids were familiar with. I grow myself all these things, peas. Thing about peas is that you can either plant it and grow 100 more, or you can eat them. So the kids know that it's something that's going to feed them, and they can feed it and will grow again. So it's about the cycle of life. So when Susie said about seeds, I just found seeds that I thought were familiar, got some dirt and containers and some drainage stuff, and brought it all in and let them just go at it, and just basically set it up assembly line. And the parents helped a lot. Everybody sort of kicked in because we had a pretty big crowd. And then we let them personalize them and decorate them to make them more their own and be more attached to the plant.
Seed planting doesn't end today. With the help of Farming Falmouth, the West Falmouth Library is starting a seed library, and it will be opening up in the next week or two. And along with the seed library, we will have a series of speakers come in over the course of the year, talking about everything from how to harvest your seed, how to prepare your soil. So the best thing to do is to stay tuned to the West Falmouth Library and the Farming Falmouth websites so that you will know when all these things are going to take place.
The West Falmouth Library will continue their collaboration with Farm in Falmouth this spring and throughout summer by featuring a seed library and lectures over the next year on how to grow and maintain plants.
If you're interested in gardening, be sure to pay them a visit to learn more. Thanks to June Mello for that story.
Now moving on, the Falmouth Art Center has unveiled this month's Juried Photography exhibition featuring local and out-of-state artists.
This is a great opportunity for artists to share their work in a reputable community gallery without paying enormous fees. FCTV stopped by at the center on Gifford Street and spoke with Executive Director Laura Reckford about this month's exhibition and other services offered.
So this particular exhibit is our annual Juried Photography show, and we do have the submission online, and so people can actually submit to this show from anywhere in the country or the world for that matter. But of course, because we are here in Falmouth on Cape Cod, a lot of the people submitting are from the local area. And it is a wonderful opportunity for photographers because it's a very competitive show. And so we typically get, and we did get this year, about 220 submissions. 43 photos were chosen out of those 220 or so that were submitted. So it's very competitive. And so when you get into this, a show like this, you can be very proud that you have gotten into something where you're competing against really some professional photographers and other wonderful photographers. So the people who, the photographers who are in this show, quite a few of them are local to the area, many from Falmouth or nearby Falmouth, and we do have some who are from a little bit further afield. And so the juror for this year's show is a very prominent photographer who's also local, Roland Sherman, who lived in Falmouth for many years, now lives just over the line in Bourne. We have 4 juried shows a year. This is just one of the 4 juried shows. And the award winners do get cash prizes, so that's another appealing thing and a reason why people might want to submit to a show is you can be an award-winning artist or photographer. So this is a wonderful opportunity for people to participate in our juried photography show, as well as we have 3 other juried shows a year that people can participate in. We have been around since 1965. We've been around a long time, but here in our new building, we've been here 10 years. This building was built specifically for the Falmouth Art Center, and it has 3 floors of galleries and classrooms. We have 3 galleries that change over every month, so there are new shows all the time here. And the shows change over at the beginning of every month. So if you stop by at the beginning of the month, you'll always get to see 3 new shows. And we have a full range of classes for all ages and all abilities. We have classes in painting, drawing, pastel, watercolor, all the painting arts. And then we have classes in weaving, a full range of weaving classes. And then we have a full range of ceramics classes in our clay studio. We have 3 electric kilns and 1 new gas kiln. And so our pottery students are very enthusiastic about what we have to offer in our clay studio.
The Juried Photography exhibition will run through May 29th. The Falmouth Art Center is open 7 days a week and is free.
And now moving on, the Cape Cod Baseball League will be celebrating 100 years of baseball in the Cape. And of course, Falmouth Commodores is part of that league.
In the center of that success is community and exceptional work ethic. The Commodores recruits the best players from Division I colleges across the country.
And finding housing for these players is a top priority. So I sat down with Linda Peter, Fan Relations Director of Falmouth Commodores and host family, to talk about this need.
Well, there is no other place to put them really on Cape Cod. There is no other sufficient housing for them. Some other leagues I know do have, like where they put them in dorms in colleges or some similar type housing. But on the Cape, we actually find homes in the local community to place them in. And each player pays a stipend for housing, for room and board, and that is then in turn paid to the family. It's not a lot, it doesn't really cover the cost of their food pretty much, but it's something to help the families out but it's more of a reward than that to the family.
Could you talk about the duration when you when you become a host family, what that commitment looks like?
Our players start coming in the beginning of June, sometime the first week of June, and they're here until mid-August. However, this year we got a little creative this year, and we decided that we were going to start accommodating families that did have families and friends that came in for short durations during the season. So, for example, we started having vacation homes for the players, which means that if another family that has players is having family visiting, I can say, hey, send your players over to me for a week or whatever their family might be visiting, and then they can be on vacation at my house while they're having vacation, family vacationing with them.
Could you talk to us about what the schedule looks like, the living arrangement looks like, maybe? I mean, what are people signing up for?
They play 6 days out of 7. So when they're playing, they're obviously, they're traveling different places on the Cape. So those days are very busy. Plus, many of them work for the either coach at the baseball clinics, or they do field maintenance for us where they get paid. Those are paid jobs with the team. Many times they're not at the house because of that. We do provide meal. We're expected to provide 3 meals a day, but we don't have to cook 3 meals a day. Different people, it's very different. You could ask 3 different families what they do, and you're going to get 3 different answers.
Okay. So tell us about your experience.
I have had a phenomenal experience. I'm still very close to all of them that I have hosted. I literally spent the month of March and April just this past, just recently traveling around the country visiting various players that I've had and seeing them play and, connecting with them. Many of the host families that have done this long term, I've only done it a couple of years, many of them that have done it long term are invited to their weddings, invited, see their families grow up. We do get very, very close to them, and, we definitely become part of their families.
If you're interested in becoming a host family, please visit FalmouthCommodores.com to learn how.
After the break, we'll look back at the wellness fair last month. Stay with us. Welcome back.
FCTV volunteer producer Elaine Urban visited the Falmouth Wellness Fair, sponsored by the Commission on Disabilities.
Here are some of the vendors in attendance talking about services they provide to the disabled community.
So we have 2 divisions. I'm going to talk about the VR division, vocational rehab, and then Brenda will talk about our CL, which is community living. So within vocational rehab, we offer services to individuals with disability, and the qualifications for services from MRC is you have to have a documented disability, and that could be any sort of disability, mental health, physical, cognitive, or even substance use. And once you have a disability, you're qualified for services. It's an adult services, so you have to be 18 years or older. And then what we do is we offer employment opportunities and education opportunities. So our mission for MRC is to empower people with disability to have gainful employment out in the community.
Mass Rehab Commission also offers a bunch of services related to community living, such as home modifications and getting people back out living in the community. I know myself, I qualified for a program called the MFP waiver program, where I was in a nursing home after getting injured in an accident, and they help people in those kind of situations to get back out living on your own with extra services to be able to support yourself in the community. So it's, like I said, such as home modification, as well as extra help around the house with kind of like PCA services for personal care assistant and stuff with managing your social services around the house, like managing things like your appointments and all this sort of stuff, as well as helping you do laundry and that kind of stuff, general home tasks. So it's very helpful for people with disabilities and those that need a little bit of extra support living in the community. And it works out very well.
Hi, I am Denise Calderbank from the Audible Local Ledger. We read and record newspapers for the blind and visually impaired. We have offices, recording studios in Mashpee, where we record daily the Cape Cod Times, Fall River Herald News, and New Bedford Standard Times. We're always looking for volunteers, but we're always wanting to share what we do so that we have new listeners coming in to listen to us. You can hear us on radios, You can hear us on the Amazon Echo Dot by saying, Alexa, play the Audible Local Ledger on TuneIn. You can find us on our website, theaudiblelocalledger.org. You can call us at 508-539-2030 to hear more about us, or visit our website, info@audiblelocalledger.org.
I am a certified aging in place specialist, and I do simple home modifications to help people to remain in their homes as long as they can. A lot of that has to do with some planning around fall prevention, and that's my expertise, especially in the bathroom.
Thanks to Elaine Urban for filming the event.
FCTV wants to remind you that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone.
We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us.
Email us your photos and videos or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors.
We leave you now with the sights and sound of Falmouth Village blooming. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.